So Gary, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure. Could you tell me how will the crawling of local adaptive pages benefit international websites?
Right. So local adaptive crawling is actually good or beneficial for a really small subset of websites. We created this crawling method for them specifically.
Yeah.
And we don't actually recommend setting up new sites using this method. We actually strongly recommend hreflang. Basically, if we can detect that a website or a web page is local adaptive, then we can crawl it.
Okay.
Which means that we can actually crawl from a separate country, because historically Googlebot was crawling only from the US, or the IP address was from the US. And we were never sending except language headers.
Okay.
Now this changed a bit. We are getting better at crawling from different locations and with different except language headers. But as I said, I don't recommend it.
Okay.
Those websites who already use it, they will surely benefit from this.
Okay, and how do you implement it? What do you have to do?
Right. So I was a webmaster for half a decade or something like that, and I was actually struggling quite a bit with multilingual, multinational sites. To be honest, we could never ever get it right, which wasn't that nice back then. Basically, we are talking about two things.
Yeah.
One is when, based on the user IP address, the website or the web page is serving different content under the same URL.
Okay.
And the other thing is where the website is actually sniffing the accept language header of the user.
Okay.
And based on the accept language header value, will serve different content or content in a different language.
Okay.
So for example, if the accept language header is set to like accept all languages, which is a simple asterisk,
Yeah.
then the website is free to serve to the user pretty much any content it has, be that in English, in French, or Japanese. If I send to the website accept language English, then I would ask the website to serve me English content if it's available.
Okay.
And of course, you can specify more languages. Like you can do, for example, if you have a second language, like I have two mother tongues. I have Hungarian and Romanian. So I could set it to English, Romanian, Hungarian, and the website would serve content in that order. So for example, first it would try to serve me English.
If there's no content.
If there's no English, then Romanian. If there's no Romanian, then Hungarian.
Okay.
And if there's no Hungarian either, then it will serve whatever it has.
Okay. Okay. And
Does that make sense?
if there are different languages, which one would it actually choose? Just the first one
Yes.
defined? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And does it impact on the hreflang or anything like that? Just...
So these are two different beasts.
Yeah.
Local adaptive crawling was developed for a really small subset of the website. And as I said before, we don't actually recommend it.
Okay.
Our recommendation is still hreflang, and the two things work completely separately from each other.
So local adaptive is really a solution to a problem, basically,
Yes.
but the best practice is
Yes.
hreflang.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. With hreflang, you can actually target pretty much anything, any country and language you want.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's a much cleaner implementation than setting up IP sniffing or accept language sniffing. Again, this is from experience.
Okay. Okay.
Or personal experience, that is.
What are the most vital factors people need to take into consideration when they launch an international website?
Content. And that's it.
Content.
If you have good, unique, and quality content.
Oh, so not just content.
Not just content. You actually have to have like decent content.
Yeah.
Then pretty much everything else will follow. Of course, we are talking about multinational sites or multilingual sites. So you probably want to have the content translated in different languages and for different regions, or adapted for different regions. But back to translations, we actually are against machine translated content because, as you might imagine, they are not the best quality.
Yeah, of course.
General.
Yeah. I've tried to use machine translation stuff, and like from English to French to understand some stuff and everything. At the very beginning, I couldn't understand the French, so.
Yeah, and your native language is
I'm French.
Yes. Well, that tells a lot about machine translation. I'm sure it's getting better, but it's just not there.
Yeah.
So the best practice is to like get human translators who would translate the content for you. And once you have the content, the translated content up and running, then implement hreflang.
Okay.
You actually want to leave hreflang as a last step because you will actually need content up on the website in order to benefit from hreflang.
And then once you've got everything should follow naturally anyway, like links coming to your website, or this kind of,
So what I observed is that if you launch a high quality website and a website for which there's demand, then people will look for it.
Yeah.
People will talk about it. And people will start linking to it. Right?
Yeah.
And
or share content or anything like social media. And
And once you are in that stage, you actually don't have to think about anything else. You just have to think about your users. You want to satisfy your users, and that's it.
Okay, so basically the master word in a way is don't force anything. You just need to really create content for your users, and everything should follow.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. What will have the most impact on effective global rankings?
hreflang.
That's it. Again,
I would say that's
you love it. You love that, yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of burnt in my brain. I'm not sure I can say anything else but hreflang.
Yeah.
But yeah, hreflang is a great way to make sure that users find the content in the right language.
Yeah, it gives the right signals, basically. Yeah.
Yes. And what I really like about hreflang is that the webmaster has direct control over it.
Yeah.
It's not like a black box Google signal or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And it also works with at least one other search engine, Yandex.
Yeah.
Which they operate in many countries. So.
Yeah. Okay. And what are the common mistakes people are actually making with hreflang?
There are two that I want to highlight.
Yeah.
One is the missing backlink.
Yeah.
At every single international search summit, I tell people that without a backlink, Google and probably Yandex either can't use the hreflang that was deployed on the website.
Yeah.
This means that if A links to B, then B must link back to A. That's how we verify that the hreflang is actually valid.
Okay, so otherwise the kind of the loop is not complete. It's not complete, and then Google would just ignore it.
Yes.
Okay.
We can't verify a piece of the loop.
Yeah.
So we cannot use it.
Okay, so what you mean, yeah.
This helps prevent fraud, for example, where like people would just randomly put hreflang links on their pages pointing to some other random website. If we wouldn't do this validation, then that other website might have some problems.
Yeah. So I mean.
So it actually does make sense to have some sort of validation. So this was the first one. The second mistake would be weird language and country codes.
Okay.
The most common I've seen was about Japanese. and
Okay.
Japanese country. The webmaster was using JA-JA in
So
the...
Japanese.
Yes, exactly. Like
Okay.
Japanese language for Japanese language or something
Okay.
like that. We cannot accept those
Yeah.
bad annotations.
Yeah.
And we cannot use them, obviously. The good thing is that in Webmaster Tools, we actually flag these for the webmaster.
Okay.
So whenever you have a bad backlink or a missing backlink or a weird country code or language code,
It will flag it up.
in Webmaster Tools, it will show up in the internationalization tab or feature, whatever you want to call it. And it will be very easy to debug it.
Okay.
I was using that feature for our own help center. I was looking into what stupid things are we doing there, and we did find quite a few mistakes regarding the hreflang implementation.
Okay.
Another thing that comes up sometimes is mistargeting. So, for example, the webmaster of a really big site targeted all the Spanish speakers in Laos.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Yeah, all that one Spanish
Maybe
speaker.
two. I mean, if there's a family, it's great. It's just okay.
All those 2 Spanish speakers in Laos. I'm sure they were very, very happy.
Yeah.
But probably it's not what the webmaster meant. I would assume that the webmaster meant Laos or...
You mean
Or LA, yes.
Okay.
Los Angeles or...
Latin America.
Or that, yes.
Okay, so so they had ES LA.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I see what you mean. So they were trying to target a complete different country, but hey, they didn't. They fail.
Yeah, they failed pretty bad. And the thing is that with hreflang, you cannot actually target regions, for example, or just cities.
Yeah. Okay.
You can only target countries.
Okay. And in terms of best practice, what would you advise? Like CCTLDs, or would you go for subdomains?
Yeah. I would say that if possible, then go for CCTLDs. Obviously, in some cases, you can't buy a CCTLD. For example, if it's already owned and the owner doesn't want to get rid of the CCTLD, then you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
And in that case, I would recommend going for like just another domain, mainly because it's easier to target and it's implicit targeting. Users might trust CCTLDs more.
Oh yeah.
So, for example, if you are searching from France and you see French domain, then you might actually
the click-through rate might be higher in that case, is when people would
I don't have metrics on that, but I can imagine that it would be higher.
Yeah. Compared to I don't know, to .com or something like that, because again, people trust that it's a French website. Yeah.
Exactly. If that's not possible, then I would go for either some generic domain name or generic TLD, and then you can set geo-targeting in Webmaster Tools.
Okay.
Or go for subdomains or localized paths, and both of them can be geo-targeted in Webmaster Tools.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.